Let's see today's delicious Goan sweet of Goan mandos. Super simple, guys. So now here I've taken 1 cup of rice. I'm adding it to a bowl. And now we got to wash this rice really well, thrice under water. Now I'm just showing it to you, over here. So just squeeze the rice. First you'll get a very murky kind of water like this. So just discard that. And then as you wash it, thrice, you'll get a much clearer water. You can use any rice. And now after I kept the water, I'm going to add 3 cups of water and I'm going to keep it aside for at least 8 hours. Now after 8 hours, we're going to drain out all the water from the rice. Now we're also going to be requiring 1 cup of freshly grated coconut. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar and a pinch of salt. I'm going to add these ingredients to my mixer pot or mixer jar. And we're going to grind this using a little bit of water to make a nice fine paste or batter. Now I'm adding the sugar because I'm using organic jaggery. If you get your hands on Goa jaggery, there's nothing like it, then you can skip the sugar. But I'm using organic jaggery, which is not very, very sweet, so I'm adding a little bit of sugar. So if you're using the Goa jaggery, you don't need to add the sugar. Now I'm just going to add a little water at a time. So I've totally used about half a cup of water. And we're going to grind this to a very, very smooth batter. So our batter will look like this. So I'm just going to transfer this to a bowl. And then we have a few more ingredients which we need to add. So this is our batter. So now to this batter, just give it a small mix or a whisk. Now first I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder or elaichi powder. I've just taken about 4 small elaichis and pounded them in my mortar and pestle and whisked it well into the batter. Now I'm using 1 cup of organic jaggery because it's nice and dark and also good in taste, but it's not very sweet. That's why I added the sugar. Like I said, if you're using Goa jaggery, then you can skip the sugar. Now first mix it in well. Now we want all of the jaggery to dissolve really, really well. So I'm going to get my hands in and I'm just going to, dissolve all the jaggery. And then you get this dark batter. If you're using the Goa jaggery, you'll get an even darker color. Now I'm just going to add about 1/4 cup of broken cashew nuts. Now prepare your steamer at this time and put in enough water because we're going to steam this mandos for 45 minutes. So I've taken my cake tin and I've just greased it with a little bit of clarified butter or ghee. Pour in the batter. And now I'm going to steam it for exactly 45 minutes. So see that you have a lot of water in the steamer. Keep checking. Your steamer shouldn't dry up. And after 45 minutes, your mandos is all ready. Just take it out of the steamer and set it aside to cool completely before we demold it. Let it cool for an hour at least. And after an hour, just run your knife through the edges like this. Put a plate on top of it, overturn it, just tap it down a bit. You can feel the mandos, slipping down easily. And see the cake tin is also nice and clean and it's all ready. So now you can just cut it up into any desired shape. Generally they cut it up into long rectangles like this, which I'll show you. So use a very sharp knife and just slide it down like this and like this, and then you can just shape it up, and that's it. friends, let's see today's lovely Goan cucumber cake or tausyache mandos. It's super easy. Now here I've taken 1 cup of rice, washed it thrice well under water, and now I'm going to soak it in 3 cups of water for 2 hours at least. This is very important that you soak the rice for 2 hours. So just cover it and set it aside. Now I've taken 4 medium cucumbers. I'm just showing you 2, but I've taken 4 medium cucumbers, washed them really well, and I've also peeled them. Then I've cut off the tips and I'll do a taste test, and if the cucumbers are bitter, then please discard them. And now we're going to cut them lengthwise like this, and with a spoon I'm just going to scoop out all of the center, that is the seeds, etc. We're not going to use that. So you can put this in your plants, etc. Don't throw it into the garbage. You can put it in your plants. Just a small tip here. And then I'm just going to roughly chop up the cucumbers, and I should get about 1 cup of these chopped cucumbers. Now you can use any cucumbers. I got my hands on these. Otherwise you can use the dark green ones or whatever you're really used to using. And now once I've done that, I'm going to add the cucumbers to a mixer jar along with 1 cup of desiccated coconut. Now you can also substitute it with fresh coconut. I like the taste of the desiccated coconut in this cake, so I'm using that. And now I'm just going to grind that to a very fine paste. Now after 2 hours, the rice has nicely got soaked, so I'm going to drain out all the excess water, and I'm going to add this to my mixer jar. And I'm also going to be adding 1 cup of grated jaggery. Now you can use any jaggery, the Goa jaggery or the light, colored jaggery, whatever you have at hand. And I'm going to just add about 1/4 cup of water to help the grinding process. And we're going to grind this to a very, very smooth and fine paste like this. So you can transfer that to a bowl too. And now we're going to make the batter for this cucumber cake. So into a large bowl, I'm going to add both of these pastes that we ground just now. To that, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of clarified butter or ghee. So I've just melted the butter, the clarified butter. Now in the meantime, just preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of elaichi powder or cardamom powder, as well as about 10 to 12 chopped up cashew nuts. And now you just have to mix everything really well together to get a nice batter. Mix this well so that the elaichi or the cardamom powder also gets nicely mixed up with the rest of the ingredients. And now I've just lined my cake tin with some butter paper. And I'm going to pour the batter into this cake tin. Now this is a 7x7 round cake tin. Then just give it a gentle tap, and now you're going to put it in your preheated oven and bake it at 180 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes. Now after 45 minutes, we're just going to do the test to see whether the cake is ready. So I'm just going to insert a knife into the cake, and if it comes out clean, that means it's ready. If yours doesn't come out clean, just put it back into the oven and bake it for about another 5 to 10 minutes. And once the cake is at room temperature, we're going to demold it, take off the butter paper, and I'm just going to turn it over to the right side. And there, your beautiful cucumber cake is ready. So now we're just going to decorate it with some cashew nuts. So I've just taken the cashew nut, cut them into halves like this, and decorated the cake. Remember, we also have cashew nuts in the cake, so it makes it all the more better. And that's it, guys. Your lovely cucumber cake is all ready. So just dig in and enjoy. So friends, let's see today's Goan Moong Godshe. It's very, very simple.
So let me take you through the ingredients. Now here I have 1 cup of cooked moong. I will leave the instructions of how I prepare it. Half a cup of grated jaggery. Now here I'm using Goa jaggery or jaggery. 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom powder and a little bit of salt, just about a pinch of salt or a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And this is half a cup of coconut milk. I will read a recipe of how I make my coconut milk at home. Now I'm going to add all of the ingredients to a pan. Now for this moong, what I've done is I've just washed the moong really well and then soaked it for about 4 to 5 hours, even more than that, and then just pressure cooked it on 1 whistle on high and then simmered it for about 5 minutes and then let the cooker cook, and then your moong is ready. Now you can also use sprouted moong for this recipe, but I'm just going with regular moong. So now you're just going to mix everything till the mixture thickens. This is a lovely evening snack. It's so healthy. It's made with jaggery and moong, so it's really good. So do try out this recipe, guys. So friends, let's see today's Goan Sweet of Mangane. Very easy and very good, very healthy. This is half a cup of chana dal, which I've soaked in 2 cups of water. After washing it well for at least 1 hour, I've soaked this chana dal. So wash it well and soak it. This is 1/4 cup of sabudana. Again, I've washed it and soaked it for 1 hour in 1 cup of water. So now the chana dal has nicely swelled up. So has the sabudana or the sagu. Now we're going to add this dal to a pressure pan, and I'm going to cook it for 2 whistles on on high and then simmer it. And then we're going to mash the dal very coarsely. We don't want a paste. There should be some pieces of the dal. Then I'll need some small coconut strips. So I've just taken a sharp knife and I've just taken out strips like this in this manner. This will just add some kind of crunch to this sweet dish. Take care of your hands when you're cutting this. So in this way we get these pieces. So when you have just broken the coconut, this is the best time to do it before you start grating it. Now this is my thick and thin coconut milk, which we will be using for this recipe. So now what I've done is I've just grated 1 medium-sized coconut. And then I'm just going to add that to my mixer jar with 1/4 cup of water. You can even use warm water. It hastens up the process. And then I'm just going to use a colander or a sieve on a bowl, and I'm just going to keep straining the coconut milk. Now the first coconut milk that you get is called the thick coconut milk. Later on, what you're going to do is you keep the coconut milk separately, and then what you're going to do is you're going to keep on adding little water to this remaining pulp that you have, and just keep grinding it till you get finally are not able to get any more juice out of it or any more milk out of it. Then that is your thin coconut milk. So you just add little water at a time, grind it again, repeat the process, and you'll get this thinner version of coconut milk. So this is how you make your coconut milk at home. Now if you're buying store-bought coconut milk, you can use just one type, which is the just mix that powder into warm water, and that is the coconut milk you can use. So now we have both our thick and our thin coconut milk. So now let's continue with the recipe. The thin coconut milk is a little watery, the thick one is a little bit dense. So now I've just grated some zaifar or nutmeg on my grater, about 1/2 teaspoon. And I need 1/2 cup of grated jaggery and about 5 or 6 cardamoms. I've just crushed them. So now we have all our ingredients. Let's make this healthy recipe. So now I'm adding 1/4 cup of water to my already cooked and mashed up dal. Mix the water in well. Now the flame is on low to medium. Now we're going to add our nutmeg and elaichi powders to bring out the real, lovely taste of this recipe. Mix in these powders well. Add the jaggery or the gur. Now if you get your hands on Goa jaggery, well and good. I couldn't get my hands on them because I live in Mumbai, but whenever I go to Goa, I always pick up a good quantity of Goa jaggery. And now we're going to drain the water from the sago or the sabudana, add that. See that your sabudana is soaked really well for a long time and it's nice and fluffed up, it's absorbed a lot of water. Mix everything nicely. See that all the jaggery is nicely melted and dissolved in this mixture. I'm just going to add one turmeric leaf that I happen to have, in my garden, which was growing, so I just could pick up one of them. Although these grow only in the monsoons, but I had them at hand, so I took one of the leaves. You don't have to, but if you have access to it, then well and good. Mix everything well. It just adds a very nice flavor to this dish. These haldi leaves. Haldi or turmeric leaves. And now I'm going to add the thick coconut milk first. Mix well. And then I'm going to add the thin coconut milk. So this is a very healthy recipe. There's no flour in it. There's no sugar in it. Just healthy ingredients. And then I'm going to add some cashew nut pieces just to add that lovely extra crunch along with the coconut pieces I'm going to add. I make this in a heavy bottom pan. I'm making it in my pressure pan itself. And now you can just taste and see if you need to add more jaggery, a little pinch of salt to balance out everything. So I'm adding just a pinch of salt. When you add salt to a sweet dish, it brings out the flavor. So mix everything nicely. Now I'm going to add the thick coconut milk. Sorry, I added the thin coconut milk first and now I'm going to add the thick coconut milk. Sometimes I do get confused when I'm doing a voiceover. So this was the thick coconut milk. So this will give it a nice creamy texture. And now just once it comes to a boil, just put the flame off. And now we're going to add these lovely coconut pieces. And your lovely mangane is all ready, delicious. And you know what, these authentic and traditional recipes, I just love them because they're so easy but yet so delicious, so simple yet so delicious. So if you all also have any authentic recipes handed down from generation to generation, please send them to me on my email or in the comment section. I would love to make them and show them on my channel with your permission, of course. So try out this recipe, guys.